as we will be focusing on, we will be talking or discussing rather TSOTSI. We have to understand that TSOTSI is not a new thing. It's something that has always been there, and now we'll discuss in depth of how back then how TSOTSI was regarded as more for the criminals, for criminals, for thugs. But now the meaning has changed. Does not mean now that if you speak TSOTSI, you are a thug or you are a criminal. So we'll get to read this passage. Just have the patience. It's long. That let us read. And just remember, the purpose is that you should be able to, by using this template, this table, you should be able to give the answers and jot down. So this lesson will actually give you a highlight of how you should be taking notes, and that you should, even though the passage may be long, but you should be able to jot down notes that are important. So TSOTSI hormone titles of roll-ons and margins in South Africa is widely used but unofficial language. After South Africa's first multi-regional elections were held on April 27, 1994, the different political parties opted to have 11 official languages. These are English and Afrikaans, as well as 9 indigenous African languages, including isiZulu, Setswana, and Tshivenda. But there is a 12th unofficial language which is widely used in South Africa. TAAL is from Afrikaans and means language. TSOTSI started off meaning a thug, hoodlum, or criminal, but it has come to mean street, smart, or hip. Therefore, the use of TSOTSI has come to be something that distinguishes supposedly with a township inhabitants from their cousins in the country. It is difficult to say exactly when TSOTSI appeared on South Africa's linguistic map, but the famous anti-apartheid activist Father Trevor Hutchinson talks about it in his book Not for Your Comfort, written after he was forced to leave South Africa and abandon his mission work in Johannesburg's now demolished Sophia town in the 1960s. And South African author Ellen Patron of Cry the Beloved Country Fame published a book called TSOTSI in the 1950s. When Sophia town was demolished by the apartheid government and its residents forcibly moved, TSOTSI were part of the resistance against this draconian measure. On stuck knee, on spoiler here. We are not moving. We are staying put here. Was their slogan. TSOTSI probably developed as more and more black folk became urbanized in the late 1940s or early 1950s, and wanted to show that they were one up on their rural kith and kin. When one greets another person, TSOTSI, one says hater, but in the morning, be it in the morning, afternoon, or at night. This is a combination of the English hey and ta, hence the greeting means hey, thank you. The other party's response is the same, hater. One might also greet by asking who's it, which is a combination of the Afrikaans who, meaning how, and the English is it, how's it, who's it, that means how's it. If the other party says grand, sharp, or mna, you should know everything is fine with him or her. That if he says blind, as in visually impaired, you should know things are not looking bright. A number of big companies in South Africa have come to realize the high regard in which TSOTSI is held by blacks, and have tried to fashion their marketing strategies accordingly. For instance, manufacturers of the razor blade mineral capitalized on the fact that when one wants to indicate to others that everything is well in TSOTSI, you show the thumbs up and say sharp. So the advert for the blade is someone with his thumbs up and reads sharp. On the other hand, manufacturers of the well-known liniment Zamba call it the real Makoya. Makoya is TSOTSI for genuine, and is obviously derived from the English the real McCoy. McCoy. When Pepsi Cola returned to South Africa after it had de-invested during the days of apartheid, Coca-Cola tried to retain its popularity by setting up billboards all over the country extolling its product at Makoya Coca-Cola, the real thing, Coke in TSOTSI. The following are some TSOTSI expressions and their origins. So these are just all you can just read what they mean: the juice, the margins, the TSOTSI veneral, 16 valve, as well as cellular. You can read that, yeah. And then for this, in order to, before we can just commence with the activity, what we will do is that we will try and circle the correct answer by looking at what these words mean in language, and just remember that we are looking them within the context, not not looking for the meaning, but what it means within the context. So language, the system of is it the system of human expression using words, a system of words used by a nation or people, a particular style or manner of expression, short words or phrases. And the correct answer here would be that a particular system of words used by a nation of people. It is because South Africa, an official which is widely used in South Africa, and you have to remember that South Africa is a nation on its own. And then the abandon, to allow oneself to be completely controlled by someone, to give something up without finishing it, to live completely and forever, to bring to an end. And the correct answer here would be to give up something without finishing. As you can see that Father Trevor Hartleson was actually forced to leave South Africa, and was actually forced to leave South Africa without finishing his mission work. So to abandon is to give up something without finishing, because already forced, it's already telling us that it was not his intention to leave, and yet his mission work was not yet completed. And then demolished, ate up hungrily, destroy completely, put an end to, broken down. And the correct answer here would be that as to destroy completely. As you can see, that when Soweto was demolished by the apartheid government and its residents forcibly moved, they were being forcibly moved. Okay? They were being forcibly moved. Just remember that you cannot put a town to an end. Yes, you can destroy it, and obviously you cannot eat it. It cannot be eaten. And then response, you see that it is a reply. Response, it is a reply, because they say that the other party's response is the same hater, meaning that they are replying, because one may say hey ta, and then the other one will reply by saying hater. And then we have regard. Regard is a respect, esteem, respectful, attention, connection, relation, pay attention. And the correct answer is respect, regard. You can see that it's held in regard by the blacks. Okay? That means that the digital is held by the blacks in high regard. That South African companies have actually realized that as being held in high regard, and it's being adored. That means they are adoring it. So that's why we have the correct answer as respect. A being our correct answer, respect and esteem. So we will get to finish this template on our next lesson. So understanding these concepts will be the end of our lesson. Thank you.